Hi there, welcome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you joining me today. We're going to do a reading to see what's coming towards you in the near future. This reading is timeless. Whenever it finds you, it's the right time. See what resonates, leave what doesn't. Remember that divine inner guidance is in you, and try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition so your decisions are sound, based in love and for the highest greatest good of everyone. So we're all uplifted in love. Let's take a little peek into what's to come in the near future. We're going to start today with the tarot. So let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels and energies of love have for the highest and greatest good of all. What is the next little peek into the future? Ooh, it looks like the next little peek into the future for you is a little bit of Hushin. It's that spark in your spirit. It's a new beginning that has the potential for this spiritual flame to continue to burn very, very bright, but you have to put some energy into this. You have the Ace of Wands. So it is a very masculine energy coming through first. It's where you're really turned on by something or someone, or somebody's really turned on by you. Oh my goodness, already in this reading. So, I mean, it's a beginning, it's a start. It's that little like thing, but it has to have more energy placed into it to continue to grow. Okay, let's continue. Oh my goodness, guys. So it looks like, I feel like you have some fun energy coming in. It could also be very creative. It does look like somebody has had some enlightenment. You have the Hanged Man. It actually flew out upside down like this. So maybe there was a little bit of a pause before this passionate new beginning pops on into your world. Oh my goodness, guys. I love the Hangman though. That's all right. So there was a little pause, you know, it was a little time to see something in a different perspective. But this is where, you know, it's where all of a sudden you see something differently and you cannot unsee it once you see it in this new perspective. And usually it means that somebody has gained spiritual perspective on a situation. So the pause that happened was necessary. That break, you know, in the creative flow, or in a partnership, or in between jobs, or even if you were at a job. This is where all of a sudden you go to work the next day and it doesn't look the same. It's you see everything in a different filter, because I always look at it like when you have the painting hanging up, you bought it at the store, you think it's like, you know, some abstract art, and one day it falls off of the wall onto the floor and you see that, I always see like a giraffe, an apple, and like something else, and an alligator. And you're like, oh my goodness, it's a giraffe, an apple, and an alligator? How did I not see that when I bought it? You can put that painting back upside down on the wall, but you're always gonna see what you saw when it fell off. So this purposeful pause, sometimes it is something you realize in this pause that you need to sacrifice, you need to let go of, because it's that other side that it's like you were only looking at one side of the coin, and now you get to see both and the side that connects the two. So your actions, your movement, the way you see everything is changed. It brings you new stability. I just heard hyper awareness now. So that could be somebody's new awareness in something passionate, how they are passionate about you, a new awareness and a new flow in creativity. If some of you are writers and you had like writer's block, that's not gonna be stalled much longer. Something's gonna really gain momentum here. But there was a pause. you know, there was a break. There was a sleeping period. I hear a slumber. But something's blossoming now. You can't hang up there too long, or the blood goes to your head and you start to make wonky decisions that bring you back that unclear energy that you have already cleared up inside of your energy field. So 12, Hangman. Let's get a little clarity. So if this is towards the future, it might be that you have a burst of passion or creativity, but then you have to kind of put something on pause. You have to put maybe the plans down so they're solid, so that there's maybe some more structure on this sparkly energy inside of you. It could also be that once this idea, this connection, this inspiration comes in, that it's the insight needed to know why some things have to change, and it's taking the appropriate time to make those changes. Clarify the Hangman. And it looks like the changes are going to bring somebody way back into balance. You have Justice. So maybe the scales were off. It's adjustment that happens. It does look like you had to go backwards a little bit, because you go from the 12 back to the 11. So it's like 2 steps forward, maybe 1 step back, but that 1 step back is necessary to put something back into order. Sometimes this is a solid decision. It does look like you have to ground a specific conversation with that sword, or have some clarity within yourself on why you are making different choices. This is seeing something in the higher perspective. Sometimes it's gaining the perspective of somebody else that makes something come back into balance. It could be the justice system as well. If some of you are dealing with anything that has to do with property, a contract, signing some papers, marriage, divorce, separation, anything in the legal world. But if this is a decision that has been hanging for a while, it's going to feel so much better once that decision is finally made, once you sign on the dotted line, because there's usually that lead up to the justice where it's kind of uncomfortable. You know, something has to change, but you're not sure about how it's going to flow. It's always where you make better decisions, or you feel better about your footing, your direction, the next step, once that feels back in balance. If it's upside down, it could be where somebody had to have some self-illumination and spiritual insight on why a passionate start is needed, or how to keep passion alive, how to keep the creativity flowing. It's a Libra energy. It does look like there's blossoming on one side, but there has to be a release and a letting go, and almost a death energy on the other side of the scale. Total transformation. But I am getting that getting to see somebody else's perspective, hearing them out, and maybe it's agreeing to disagree for some of you. If you don't see eye to eye with someone, I feel like there can be a win-win here. Sometimes the justice energy takes an outside party that sees something in a neutral position to get through to 2 different people. I don't know exactly what that means, but right here there's just one person that needs to get back into balance. Clarify justice. Why is justice coming through? That's something, yeah, everything's going to happen really fast once a decision is made. Once somebody recognizes that their scales were imbalanced in the first place, and a couple of, decisions from a new perspective changes everything. The 8 of Wands is where communication all of a sudden comes in. It's also Cupid's arrows. So this could be where some of you have many options when it comes to who you can create with. Maybe some of you are even offered many different positions and you have to make a choice. It's really fast. If the Eight of Wands is coming through, it usually means that anything that was stalled or lacking in communication, lacking in clarity, or imbalanced is going to, like that, all of a sudden come back into balance and start to flow. Sometimes it's so much that you have to change, or so much happening at once that don't be the deer in headlights, like that would be upside down. If you have to handle something, you know, decision by decision, bird by bird, bat by bat, do one thing at a time, but it generally means that you can multitask different things at once. I feel like there's a way to lump things together. I hope that made sense. You know, get the two bats with one stone kind of thing. Let's see, what's happening really fast? I feel like it's communication. What's happening really fast is once somebody lets go of a burden, once somebody decides that they don't want the weight of the world on their shoulders and their shoulders alone anymore, once somebody decides to be a little more flexible on something that needs to change, everything feels lighter. I am getting that. All of a sudden, things feel lighter for you or for someone else. You have a lot of Wands energy here. The 8, the 10, and the Ace. So you have a beginning and an ending. I kind of feel this could have been a partnership where it started kind of with the bang and then took a pause, and a lot of adjustments had to happen in the middle, whether together or individually. And all of a sudden something comes back around or comes back in, or a lot of changes happen once communication reconnects. And I feel like that really takes a lot of weight and strain off of your life, off of somebody else's life. I also feel like whoever is taking on this burden, this weight, has recognized that they don't have to do it on their own. So maybe you're helping somebody lighten the load. Somebody's delegating duties. I sometimes see the 10 of Wands as someone who's a big old unorganized mess. Or sometimes when someone is extremely stubborn and set in their ways, or when somebody has a lot of pride that they are the one that can handle that load and nobody else is strong enough to do it. They have to, it's like always having to prove something. But what are you proving? You're going to have a backache at the end of the night? Maybe that's why this person is doing some upside down yoga here. Maybe yoga is also important. The 10 of Wands is where you learn to work smarter, not harder. When you sometimes have to get through a situation that is really hard, but once you get to the end and you see that cycle is done, when you have a new beginning, do you repeat it the same way and make it hard the next go around? Or do you change something up with what you've learned in that last cycle so that it's not a repeating karmic pattern? Or you do it the same old way again. You know, that's up to you or that's up to somebody else, but I do feel like somebody is learning something here. I feel like somebody was imbalanced for a very long time, and that became too uncomfortable. I see this barrel, maybe a barrel. I don't know why I hear a barrel of laughs. Maybe there's somebody you're connecting to and you think they're really funny, you laugh together. That's part of this communication or this Cupid's arrows or even this passion. I mean, if you can laugh together, even in the passion department, that's a beautiful, light-hearted, happy energy. So let's clarify all these. Clarify the Ace of Wands. Let's go a little deeper. Clarify the Ace of Wands, please. Yeah, the Ace of Wands, you got the Tower. So the Ace of Wands is where there's this passionate new beginning after something had to completely crumble to the ground. After there was chaos, a fight, an epiphany, a self-realization. This could be an internal tower. This could be an external tower. It's usually divine intervention that comes through, so there can be a beginning. So there can be a beginning that's more creative than stagnant. So there's a beginning that sparks your spirit, your enthusiasm, you know, that true interest of your soul. Because if there was a tower that was building, but it stalled, or its foundation got a little rocky, there were some cracks in that foundation. Eventually, something that was not meant to be in your life anymore is going to have to be stripped away so there can be a rebuilding. Whether that be a different energy placed in building in the familiar environment, you know, but not doing it with the same tools, the same way. I feel like there was, I'm kind of getting that whatever the old foundation was, whether this is your life, a partnership, past situations, or in somebody else's world, there was something about an imbalance in energy. I'm even getting, if that Ace of Wands was upside down, it was just lack of passion, lack of creativity. Kind of the fire always fizzled out. Rain cloud always came about. But whatever goes away with the Tower takes you to the star. It takes you to hope, healing, a wish come true. This is something that usually happens very sudden. Also, if the Tower is coming with the Ace of Wands, this might be somebody that comes into your life out of nowhere, either gives you an idea that sparks that thing in your soul that changes everything, or it could be where, if some of you haven't had a passionate partnership in a very long time, this is somebody where you thought it would never happen to you. You just assumed that's it. You're not going to look for love, not going to look for passion. That's not happening. Boom. All of a sudden, you know, your life is going easy breezy, and all of a sudden there's this person in your life, or there's this opportunity, or this new position in your job, or what you can create, and all of a sudden everything looks different. Everything is changed. It could also be where someone or something leaves your life that creates the space necessary so God in the universe can bring something amazeballs into your life. It kind of forces you to let go. It's all about how you rebuild. Do you stand there in the ruckus and the rumble and the mess and the chaos, or do you move out of it? Or do you build differently because of what you learned from it crumbling around? I don't know why I just thought of Zion by Lauryn Hill. That really came out of nowhere. I am getting a little bit of, oh, now I hear Sublime, Babylon. By the rivers of Babylon. Dun, 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 when we remembered Zion. Maybe that's why I got Zion. It's kind of like that. Maybe there's something about, I'm getting Tower of Babel. Maybe there's something about you and somebody else speaking a different language. Maybe that's literal, but maybe that's really just not being on the same page. It's almost like all of a sudden somebody you were connected to just is speaking another language. You just don't get them. But I kind of feel like it's bringing someone who speaks your language. I kind of feel like that's metaphorically because they could speak a different language. It's more of an energy connect. Your spirits connect. I hope that made sense. Let's clarify the Hangman. What do we need to know about the Hangman? That pause, that break. Yeah, the Hangman, he got death. Ooh, big changes here. So I really like those two together. So now you have an 11, a 12, a 13, and a 16. So the Hangman is the recognition, the realization that there was total transformation, that you absolutely just have to let go of a past cycle, or this is you, even in ego death, which sometimes is that dark night of the soul, which does happen when you feel like you just fell into a big old hole and you don't know what is going on. But then the light at the end of the tunnel comes, and all of a sudden you recognize that your life is supposed to be thriving, not getting by. That there's something you've outgrown and it just doesn't suit you anymore. You know, that old skin, that old scenario, that old situation, that old job, that old partnership, that old you is not who you are becoming. And you're starting to recognize new opportunities that head you towards the light, that feel lighter, that feel bright and right, and you're ready. So if you see, like, you know, the snake sheds its skin, you shed the skin, it's down there on the ground, and you're like, oh man, that was my favorite old skin. Maybe I can try to crawl in it again and put it on and see if it fits. Not gonna fit. And it's going to be kind of gross. So there's something that just doesn't feel right. I just thought of the Roots song. It don't feel right, don't feel right. There's something that doesn't feel right anymore. So if it doesn't feel right, go with what feels right. Don't force, you know, that transition. Go with it. Go with the flow, because sometimes transitions do happen really fast, or a big thing happens and then the next step is a slow process. Because that tunnel could be dark, but you definitely see the light now. If that was somebody else and they were just swallowed by the dark or swallowed by so much pressure over here, this is somebody starting to run towards the end of the tunnel now. I feel like there's somebody that's catching up with you. Clarify justice. What is this justice about? Once you got the Nine of Cups. You're heading towards your wish come true. I feel like some of you have felt out of balance for a long time, or that's somebody else. Maybe somebody has had these beautiful wishes in their soul on what fulfills them, but got stuck on what was imbalanced, or struggling with letting something or someone go, having a hard time with transition or change. There's somebody waiting for you here, or that's you waiting for someone else, because there's 2 cups here. So I do feel like it has to do with a partnership, whether that be business, friendship, or a relationship. But both of these cups are full. And there's a smorgasbord here just waiting, you know, to nourish one's heart, one's emotions. Upside down gluttony, which could be that scale imbalanced. If somebody was just in that energy of wanting to have it all and never sharing anything, or, you know, getting it all in because maybe it won't be there tomorrow. That's lack mentality. It's having enough to savor. It's recognizing that it's not just one wish come true situation. It's that when the genie in the bottle appears, you ask for 1,000 more wishes. And when you get to 999, your next wish is 1,000 more. That was cute. Because it's not just a one and done. We're going to clarify the 8 of Wands and the 10 of Wands. But I'm going to go grab a deck really quick. I'll be right back. All right, let's continue. I don't know why I saw this little like flower deck in my head. I like that it has quotes, but I went and grabbed it quick. So let's clarify this 8 of Wands, Cupid's arrows, everything happening at once. That's also the group text. You know, all of a sudden nothing was happening and boom, 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 it all comes through. So you could be the one sending out something that really gets the ball rolling. You know, one hello starts a beautiful conversation and more to come. Or it could be that one person sends something to you, and that really, I just see the ball rolling. Like all of a sudden something that was stalled starts moving. And I kind of feel like it does have to do with creative conversation, expansion, because it's wands. Maybe even talking about adventures in the future. But I feel like it starts with an idea and it just like takes off. Clarify the 8 of Wands, please. Is it that one? Yeah, let's take it. You got wish, you have wish come true ×2. So after this tower finally falls, something finally is let go of, leaves your life, you have this renewal, this hope restored in your soul. Burdens go away, things come back into balance. You have self-illumination and enlightenment that continues in your life. It's not just one epiphany and you're done. The star, even this way, is beautiful. It's Aquarius energy. It is thinking outside the box. It is having ideas that no one else thought of, or unique to you, or your unique ideas really inspire someone else to expand their dreams, expand their wish come trues. The star is hope, guidance, following that North Star. I feel like there's something here on a transformation between the South Node, which is ego, karma, to the North Node, which is clarity, destiny, direction, and dharma. Everything feels like it's working out all of a sudden for you. I feel like for some of you, you are embodying this energy of the star. You are shining like a star. Your aura is getting huge. Maybe that's what I see here also, because that's that snowball thing, but I feel like it's expansion. I feel like things are going to start to really start to flow in your life, whether that's prosperity or opportunities, or even if this is a partnership, this is love that gets not just deeper, but brighter and bigger. And I just heard invaluable or priceless. Your chakras are aligning. You're feeling like your whole life is this, is healing. I feel like there's some maybe deep wounds from the past that you or somebody else was going through, and that is completely healed. Let's clarify the 10 of Wands. So now you have a 16, you have a 11, 12, 13, 16, 17. There's a lot of major arcana here today, so lots going on. What is just a little deeper clarity and message on this heavy burden? I feel like somebody was accepting a burden that didn't have to be so heavy. They just needed to see something in a different way. They just needed to see that they weren't alone, whether that's you or someone else, and that help was right there, that maybe getting off of the fence or opening their mind and their soul to another perspective changes everything. There's also something about rebooting. Like feeling plugged back in. The 4 of Pentacles. Yeah, somebody was holding on to a burden for a very long time. Somebody was in this energy of ego or being really stubborn, holding on to the money, holding on to the burden, holding on to the stress, holding on to even maybe a person, or holding on to the past. Could be holding on to a dream. That would be something to hold on to. But without that energy of allowance and release, that dream doesn't have the full space to work itself out with God. So there's always that meet the dream halfway. You have to put some effort into something. But if you are pushing something to happen, if you're strangling or smothering something so much, there's no room to grow. You know, if you put a beautiful seed and it's in a box, it's not going to grow very big. I don't know why I just saw like the goldfish, you know, how big it could be if it had a bigger environment. But if it has just this small little environment, it's never going to get past a certain point. The Four of Pentacles is also paying attention to your in and outward flow of finances, money, but also where you put your energy, where you put your time in your everyday world. People, places, things. It could be where somebody was not recognizing where an investment could be made so that there can be a flow of abundance in their life. It could also be where somebody's spending more than they are making, or they make plenty, but what they spend their money on doesn't really bring any investment or joy or abundance in their world. It just is an item that sits on the shelf because it was on sale and then it's never used, therefore a waste. But it could also be if somebody has an opportunity to release a burden, lighten up the load, but they're not releasing something or making the space for that opportunity to unfold, then it's just gonna remain stagnant. It's kind of the miser energy. I looked at that at 3131. It's where somebody could be really selfish. Somebody just wants everything for themselves. I did see somebody really stubborn or an ego here, set in their ways, trying to prove a point. But this is never going to be the emperor. It's like the emperor wannabe, but they don't have that flexibility with change to ever really accomplish something to get to their dream. Upside down, it's knowing that there's security in something that would be stable to save for a rainy day that you need to hold on to. But then you have to see where that letting go energy needs to happen. Let's clarify that. The Four of Pentacles. Maybe somebody has tattoos. I mean, I think all these people have tattoos. Or somebody was kind of in the dark. This person looks like they have sunglasses on, but they look like they're actually blinding them. They look like they're blacking out a situation. So maybe somebody was blinded to the truth. I feel like that money doesn't seem that valuable because it's just paper. I feel like there's something more valuable in the energy. Because money comes, money goes, but the energy stays. It just transmutes. Clarify why the Four of Pentacles. Why is the Four of Pentacles coming in? Somebody was holding on to the past, or somebody was holding on to a past dream, or somebody was holding on to a soulmate, or it's just somebody coming back from the past. The Six of Cups, somebody could have been holding on to past memories instead of recognizing how to be in the now, be in the moment, and take today, the day you have, the moment you have, to make new memories that are amazeballs. This could be somebody just really holding on to what was and not looking towards what could be. It could also be where somebody that was from your past never quite let you go, even if there was no communication. They were really holding on to that dream coming true, maybe staying in that energy of in faith that they don't know how, they don't know when, they don't know where, but they want that chance to recreate new memories, to reconnect with you or you with them. It could be that somebody was holding on to something so tightly because children were involved, or it could have been that somebody was holding on to their responsibilities so heavy that they weren't allowing that childlike energy to be in their life. That beautiful sense of play and laughter. There's a youthfulness about that energy. There's a simplicity, an innocence, a purity. And it usually does mean that it's nostalgia. So if you remember something from the past, or somebody's remembering something that they held on to but didn't have any growth, or a certain way that they did something but it didn't really build a kingdom, you know, nostalgia is kind of weird. You can remember something in a more or less fond light than it actually happened, because your brain can play tricks on you. You can latch on to the beautiful moments and forget about the weird red flags, or you can only think about the weird ending and forget that maybe there was some amazeballs moments. So it's not getting lost back there. It's bringing the past into the now, and then in the now, also looking towards what could be in the future. All together, because time is a conundrum and it never really makes any sense. What's at the bottom? The Seven of Cups. Yes, somebody was confused in the past, or confused about the past, or somebody was confused why they held on to something that was heavy and imbalanced for so long, or somebody took a real long time to make a decision because they were in illusion before this enlightenment. They had the wool pulled over their eyes, or those shades were a little too dark. Maybe they were in a shady situation or acting a little shady. This is somebody who has options, has choices. Which to choose? You go with the heart, because the heart always knows the right direction. And it's that allowance, that past mistakes or choosing wrong deletes an option. You learn more, and that takes you closer to the right choice. It could be where somebody was holding on to something so tightly here because they were putting themselves into the delusion of not wanting to see the reality of how a situation needed to transform, or needed to change, or actually needed to be in balance. Somebody was so comfortable with what they knew that they couldn't foresee what could be. It could be that. Some people do not want to see reality. They put those blinders on themselves because reality doesn't feel comfortable. So they'd rather stay in the uncomfortable energy than address something and go through those changes, go through that process, and then see what could be. They're just completely attached to what was. That's trying to get back in that old skin. It doesn't work. Eventually it's gonna start to get more and more weird, and eventually, if there is necessary change that has to happen, the universe steps in and makes it happen, especially if it has to do with your North Node, your actual destiny, this path. You can only resist that so much. When there's divine energy and divinity at hand in your life, which there is here, because most of these are major arcana. The ones you're in control of are the Six of Cups, the Four of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, the Seven of Cups, the Eight of Cups, and the Ten of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. Those are everyday free will situations that you have more control over, but there's also somebody else's free will. If this is a choice that involves somebody else's free will, their destiny, that may or may not be together. It could be where a destiny was together and then there was transformation and a new destiny is apart. It could have been where you and someone else had a completely different path, and at some point in your life you are destined to come together for a bigger, brighter purpose. Especially if I'm getting that North Node. It's something that's sparking your soul. It's like lessons your soul actually signed up to learn. So if somebody was resisting, I don't know, I feel like somebody was trying to resist something they knew was a gift from God. And I don't think that resistance is happening much longer or anymore. So let's see. Let's get a message from the, what is this? The Botanical Inspirations. What's a Botanical Inspiration message and quote that would be helpful? Asters. Like a star. I feel like that means star. It makes me think of the girl from Ipanema. I like that. Maybe some of you connect to Brazil. Elegance and patience. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Lao Tzu. It's not hurrying something, but sometimes there is a big old storm that comes through with nature that gets something moving a little faster. You know, a season that has just the right amount of rain, just the right amount of sunshine to make something grow and flourish even better. Sometimes with nature, it's recognizing the quality and the nutrition of a foundation to be proper to the correct growth in the cycle that is occurring. Let's get a message from the universe. A message from the universe. Oh, I gotta get going. I gotta skedaddle soon. What is one message from the universe, please and thank you? That was so quick. Good job, universe. We have, if you want to be more successful in life, your priority should be to focus on your mindset. Of course, you know, your mind can get you off path. Your mind can confuse you. Your mind can create these delusions and get you stagnant and stuck. Your priority should be to focus on your mindset. It's looking at that light at the end of the tunnel, not at the big dark tunnel around you. It's that self-illumination of everything you've gone through. It's the choice to see the realistic writing on the wall instead of walk by it. Ignore the writing on the wall. Ignore the elephant in the room. It's not really there then. That's sticking your head in the sand. But until you have self-awareness, self-reflection, those inner changes can't happen. That will change everything in your outer world. Focus on your mindset and all that you want to attract in your life. Trust that more is happening than you can see. Many forces are at work in your favor. Oh, I definitely see that. Allow them to help you. That's this. You know, if you're being stubborn or somebody else was being stubborn, no, they're the only one who could do it. You know, has to be their way. That's the way it always works. That's the way it always was. That's the way you signed up and it should be. That's what the directions said when you hang that painting on the wall. Maybe the directions were wrong. Maybe it's rewriting the rules. Because with change, sometimes you have to adapt and grow with what works now. This is where you or someone else sees they don't have to carry it alone. Or maybe if they do, you get yourself a wheelbarrow and push it instead of hauling it on your shoulder there. Put it in the trunk of a car. There's always a way to make it easier. And it looks like here, somebody's illumination, whether that's you or someone else, is about letting something go. Once you have that release, everything changes. Have patience with yourself and with someone else as those changes occur. Sometimes you have to have a break or a pause, and that confuses the you know what out of you. You don't know what to think. But if there's a break or a pause, it has to do with somebody else's changes, somebody else's free will, and or the universe stepping on in. Sometimes those changes have to happen behind a closed door because they don't pertain to you at the moment. So if you get the chance to bring that energy back into yourself and changes you can make, that's also a gift. Whatever page of the story that you are on, be on that page, be all in. And if you feel like your story is something where you're only kind of half there. You don't really want to be there. You get to the end of the page, you don't even know what you read. Then you need to get back in the driver's seat and be the narrator, be the director of your you movie, to write the script of your book. The next page is still unknown, but you can be involved in the chapter that you are standing on. With that, I bid you adieu. I got to skedaddle. I love you so much. Thank you for liking this video. I hope something came through that was helpful. And I do look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I do have one more thing. Let's do this. I've brought these dice on the table a couple of times and I haven't used them. So let's just get some extra signs besides, you know, Libra, Scorpio, Aquarius are pretty prominent. Maybe even I see Pisces, Virgo. Let's see. Which of these are the signs? This one, and this one. Let's get you some extra signs at the end of this reading. You have Virgo, Scorpio, and Sagittarius, Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, Pisces, and oh, that one is the sun. And let's get you some numbers. 8, 5, 5, 11, 9, 2. These could be birth dates, numbers you see. 11, 3, 7. One more. 2, 4, 7. I love you so much. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And thank you for being here. Thank you, my friend.